everyone, welcome to Miyafari. In today's video, I'll be explaining and going over only the arguments presented by Sejong Law Firm during the final court hearing. Sejong is representing NewJeans, and everything I'll cover here comes directly from the statements they made in court. According to Sejong, the entire situation began with an audit initiated by HYBE in April 2024. At the time, Sejong says that terms like tampering or poaching were not mentioned as reasons for the audit. These claims, according to them, only appeared later, once the situation had already escalated. They also raised concerns about the similarities between NewJeans and Islet. Their position is that, since the two groups were planned 3 years apart, the shared concepts and visuals could naturally raise questions. They framed it not as a definitive accusation, but as a situation where suspicions could arise. Sejong stated that, after a parent of one of the NewJeans members expressed concern about possible concept similarities, Min Hee-jin formally reported the issue to Belift Lab. 6 days later, HYBE began the audit. From Sejong's perspective, this timing may suggest that the audit was a reaction to that internal complaint and not a neutral process. They argue that the audit appeared to have a predetermined outcome. Another point raised was that the members were not adequately supported or protected during this process. Sejong described the situation as one where the members were expected to stay quiet and continue working, without being included or defended. They also referred to the police decision not to indict Min Hee-jin for breach of trust. Sejong used this to support their view that the audit may not have been based on evidence of misconduct, but rather on interpretations of her actions as a business executive. Sejong emphasized that, after Min Hee-jin's departure, Ador underwent structural changes, with HYBE executives now managing the label. Their position is that, although the company is legally the same, the working environment and leadership are no longer what the members originally agreed to. They used an analogy, saying that just as changing a SIM card makes a phone feel completely different, this Ador is not the one the members felt safe and supported in. They also addressed the KakaoTalk messages involving Min Hee-jin. According to Sejong, these were private conversations and may have been taken out of context. They argued that using those messages as the foundation for an audit could be misleading, especially since some excerpts may have been edited or spliced differently in internal reports compared to how they appeared in the police investigation. Another issue raised was the difference in media coverage. Sejong pointed out that some other major controversies involving HYBE affiliates received relatively limited press, while the audit involving NewJeans was heavily reported on with over 1,700 articles during the group's comeback. Their suggestion is that this level of attention may have affected the group negatively. Regarding incidents involving the members themselves, Sejong mentioned the situation with Honey. They questioned why certain parts of the CCTV footage were missing, particularly the parts relevant to the controversy, and emphasized how that lack of footage led to misunderstandings and emotional harm. They talk about how the company, instead of protecting Honey, they treated her like a liar. Sejong also said that some of the justifications later used for the audit, such as tampering, were not part of the original reasoning. These were, according to them, added afterward. They submitted an audio recording from shortly after Min Hee-jin's dismissal, where a HYBE executive expressed feeling unsure and burdened. Sejong used this to suggest that the company may not have been fully confident in the direction it was taking post-dismissal. They also mentioned that the Dolphiners music video, which was reportedly a success, had already been approved before Min Hee-jin's departure, but after she left, legal action was taken against it. Again, they don't frame this as an accusation, but as an example of how the internal direction may have shifted. A broader point made by Sejong is that exclusive contracts deeply affect the artists' lives, not just professionally, but also emotionally. They argued that the members are currently struggling with anxiety and have even sought help for mental health concerns. Their words were, "Can you tell kids in that state, a contract is a contract. Now get up and dance? Do the members not have rights to dignity?" Sejong emphasized that this legal action was not taken because Min Hee-jin pressured the members, but because the members themselves concluded that, even at personal and financial cost, they could no longer continue under the current circumstances. During the second hearing, held on June 4th, the court issued a guseogmyeong to Ador, which is a formal and legally binding request for explanation. It's even stronger than a standard seogmyeong, and it signals that the court expects clear and justifiable answers. The judge emphasized the importance of getting clear answers, noting that this is directly connected to whether there were legitimate reasons to terminate the exclusive contract. The court also asked for a reasonable explanation in case the actions in question didn't occur. This meant that Hybe and Ador had about 7 weeks to prepare their answers before the next hearing on July 24th, a significant amount of time to organize a proper response. However, in the third hearing, it was reported that Hybe answered no to all 3 of the court's questions related to their managerial and protective responsibilities toward NewJeans. These questions were aimed at evaluating whether Hybe and Ador had properly fulfilled their managerial and protective duties toward NewJeans. According to those present in court, Hybe responded no to all 3 of the court's questions related to those duties. This moment was seen as especially important, because it shows the court is actively scrutinizing the situation, not just based on contracts, but also based on how the artists were treated. Depending on how Hybe and Ador follow up on this Guzeyog-myeong, it could have a direct impact on how the court views the legitimacy of the contract and the member's current position. I'll continue following this closely and updating you as more information becomes available. Thank you for watching, and if this helped clarify things for you, feel free to share or leave your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.